Hi, Pete back with you again. If you've been following my channel over the past few months, you'll know that I recently completed the restoration of a 1995 Daihatsu Charade. I became quite attached to that cute little car, but unfortunately I don't have anywhere to store it out of the weather. So I reluctantly put it up for sale, and it sold quite quickly, only 4 or 5 days if I remember rightly. And I also got the price I was asking, which recouped all my expenses on restoring that car. A young Italian bloke bought it, and the car is 9 years older than he is, but he's a car enthusiast, and so it's going to a good home. He'll really look after it. So that little car now has a second home and a new life. So a really good outcome all around. So what's next for PropanePete's tiny workshop? Well, this is our 2006 Mark 5 hot rod. Nice. This is our 2006 Mark 5 Golf 2-litre TDI 6-speed manual gearbox. We bought this new. It's been a great car, and it still is. I really love this car. But a little while back it's developed this sort of a miss, particularly when the motor's cold and under 1500 RPM. So it could be a couple of things, but I'm betting that it's probably a sooted up EGR valve. I don't think it's been off in the entire 19 years we've had this car, so it'll be sooted up for sure. So that's what's going to happen. We'll pop it into the workshop, my tiny workshop, and we'll get that off and clean it out. Alright, as I mentioned in the car, it's developed a bit of a funny sort of a hesitation, almost like a plug miss if it was a petrol motor, but of course it's a diesel, so that doesn't apply. The other thing I didn't mention was when you pull up to the traffic lights, the engine's warm and you're there for 30-40 seconds or so, the idle RPM suddenly increases from around 750-800 to 1000 RPM. Just like that. You take off, get to the next set of lights, motor's idling normally. After about half a minute, back up to 1000 RPM. It's still running smoothly at 1000 RPM, but there's got to be a reason why it's doing that. And as I said while we were driving around, I think that EGR valve's going to be all choked up. We bought this car from new, and to the best of my memory, I don't think that EGR valve has ever been off. So it's going to be choked up. So that's the first thing we're going to do. See if that fixes it. And I have a few things here, just in case I've got to take the inlet manifold off. I've got an inlet manifold gasket, the EGR tube gasket where it goes into the valve, and I've got 2 of those. Oh, that's good. Good to know. And I've got 2 O-rings as well. That's pretty clever of me. I don't know how I did that. And another O-ring. So there's 2 O-rings. So that's all the little bits and pieces that I need to do this EGR valve. So I actually might put it on the stands. I might actually put it on the new ramps, just in case I drop something down there and I've got to take the tray off to get it out. Once you drop a socket or something in these, you've got to take the bottom tray off. You'll never get it out. So anyway, let's get started. So the first thing to do is remove this engine cover, and then followed by the airbox, and that will give me some more room down there near the anti-shutter valve and the EGR valve. There's not much room at all down there. The clamp that holds this air duct on is really strong. You really got to watch your fingers on this one. It's a bit of a wriggle. Just got to manoeuvre it around, turn it around and get it past the couple of hoses, and out it comes. So now that we've got everything off, let's have a look at what we've got here. Up on top is the inlet manifold, below that is the EGR valve, and below that again is the anti-shudder valve, or another name is the inlet manifold flap motor. First step is to disconnect the battery, because you'll be working very close to the back of the alternator and you don't want any short circuits. So just having a look around to see what the access is to these bolts. Those two are fine. That comes from the EGR cooler, that exhaust pipe, that little exhaust pipe. That one above it looks a little bit dicey. There's really only two bolts that are very hard to get to, and one you can't see, it's on the left. It's a long bolt that goes right through everything, ties it all together. Not much access there. That's easy, that one. So is that one. Okay, so it's really only two bolts. So first thing is, let's get this turbo pipe off and pop a rag in it too, because you do not want anything to fall in that pipe, and then it'll end up in the engine later on. With that pipe removed, I had space to get a 5mm hex socket up there with a small quarter drive ratchet. And the same for the left side. This is this really long bolt. And see how close that is to the back of the alternator. That's why you disconnect the battery before doing anything like this. And once I'd cracked it loose, I was able to just use a normal hex key just to slowly undo it. There's the long bolt, and those are the two tools I used to undo it. So once those bolts are off, that flap motor comes straight off, and now it's just a matter of these two 10mm bolts that hold that little exhaust pipe coming from the EGR cooler. And once you get rid of that, remove that rear 10mm bolt, you can get that 5mm bolt that you can see sitting there above the 10mm bolt. And of course this one at the front just comes straight off. Remove the little vacuum hose, and that's it, you're done. So here we are with them removed to the bench, and that's already what that actually came out of just the flap motor, not the EGR, but the flap motor. And the EGR valve, well, that is just absolutely choked up. I did expect to see it like this, so there's no surprises here. So I'm starting to remove the soot and crud and whatever this is. It is an absolute mess. Look, it's just coming out in lumps. 19 years of soot accumulation. So yeah, there's, as I said, no surprises here. This stuff is absolutely filthy. And I forgot to put on a new pair of latex gloves. Here's the ones on the right there. And this stuff gets in your fingernails, and yeah, a real mess. Just look at this stuff, and there's more to come. God. So out with the brake cleaner, I used a full can, and it took me over an hour to clean these two valves up, so I'll just show you a little bit. And that workshop bench just ended up in a real mess. I should have been using a pan of some sort. This is about halfway through. A lot of the big stuff removed, but still a long way to go. I want to get it much cleaner than this. So I cleaned them all up, fitted new O-rings, and then I had a look at the inlet manifold with a mirror and a light, and oh boy, that is really coked up as well. I removed some from around where the EGR valve goes onto the manifold, but I was very careful. I didn't want to dislodge anything large, because there was a possibility of it disappearing down and getting jammed in between the inlet valve and the inlet valve seat, and that would have been just disastrous. So I'm going to let that go. I need the car, so I'm not going to take the inlet manifold off today. I'm going to do that at a later date, and I'm also going to have a look at the PCV as well. So I'm just putting this back together now, and we'll see how it goes. So I put it back together, all except for the engine cover, and then when I went to start the motor, I moved the tripod away without thinking about it when I went to start the engine to see if everything was going okay. So everything is running okay, no leaks or anything, so that's all good. So I popped the engine cover back on, drove it off the ramps, and went for a test drive to see if we'd had any success. Okay, I've been driving around for quite a bit now. It still had this miss when it was dead cold, but now that the motor's warmed up, this is a significant improvement. It's quite smooth now. This is the test right now. Trailing throttle, 1200 RPM, 60 kilometers an hour. This is when it would snatch before, so sort of this miss thing. So that's a dramatic improvement. So that just is an indication that I was on the right track. So keeping in mind that the inlet manifold is still really choked up, once I do that and also have a little bit of look at the PCV, the positive crankcase ventilation valve, there might be a little issue with that as well. So at some stage I'm going to pull that off and I'll video that job and post it up. So until then, I'm reasonably happy with what I've done, and we'll catch you in the next video. So thanks for watching.